and a warm welcome. This is for the Fairplay Harp School, and this is full year students. We're meeting together tonight, and today is April the 18th, 2021. Kind of just to do a stock take in a way of where we're at, how we've been, and what you might like to do next, just to make sure that I'm helping you on your journey and that you are happy, and if there's anything extra I can do for you. So first of all, it's been lovely. It's been really special to work with you guys, because I've not only seen you, many of you like once a week, I've seen some of you twice a week, I've seen some of you 3 times a week, and it's been lovely. And I have seen, I mean, it's been exciting seeing progress, you know, and seeing you being excited by what you're doing. So for instance, Felicity, it was amazing that day when you were something like, and I've written this piece, you know, and I was like, wow, this is fabulous. You know, you've been working on all this busying away, and you know, Lisa, you know, you've done huge transitions in your hand position, you know, I mean, it's been phenomenal. And you know, Judy, I know that you wanted to work on tone and sound, you know, melody shaping and things, and it's been really interesting watching you picking that all out from all the courses each time. And you know, and your technique has come on. I hope you feel that in leaps and bounds too. Kate, I know you've been very busy, and it's been lovely chatting to you every week. No, Kate, you've done loads of amazing things too, and I've been loving hearing about your superpower, that you keep realizing more and more how amazing it is that you can transpose so quickly and so easily. And I think every time you do something like, okay, wow, this is a thing. So it's been lovely seeing you kind of realize that you have this really cool superpower. We need to find a way to what's the word, harness it now, don't we, and make something really cool happen for you with it. But though, and it really has, and I know not everyone's here, so I just give a name check to you all, because I know some of you will watch the replay. So Hilary and Beatrice and Marie and Gail and Kerry, I know you're not here, but you know, it's lovely to work with you too. And I know some of you are kind of doing it in stealth, as in you email me from time to time. We don't meet up live, that's to do with time zones and work and things for you guys, I know, but all the same, it's just, you know, lovely hearing from you and checking in with you. So I would like to go around the room. I know we're not in the room, but you know what I mean. I go around and hear from everybody, and hear, you know, how the last, is it 3 months? It's 3.5 months. How the term's been, how spring term was for you. And then I want to, so we'll do that first, actually. Let's all just go around and hear how your spring term has been. So you can tell me some challenges and some highlights of your spring term, and then we'll come around again and we'll talk about what next. Okay, if that's all right, we'll split it. Yep, marvelous. Okay, so who's going to go? Let's go with Felicity first, because you're next to me and you were first in. So I'm going to go with Felicity first. Take it away, Felicity. But I can't hear you yet. Okay, now I can hear you. It's because you're on a different device than usual, I know.
That's right. Tech as usual.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. It's been great having a sense of, well, rhythm really in my learning, because it's all been a bit stop-start between moving and no teachers and broken digits and all things and elbows. And I was just getting really like, oh, you know, I just don't feel I'm getting anywhere. And so it's been really fun. And I'm still, of course, still like wanting to do everything, which is always
I think that is the challenge, isn't it? Sometimes is reining ourselves in, but it's also wonderful, because you've literally immersed yourself, I think, in everything, haven't you? And
yes, and what I found is that things link up anyway, that although it seems as if I'm dipping into something else, so a penny drops, say, from Pop with the Pizzazz, or something about chords, I go like, oh, now I understand about these, whatever it was, the sus4s and what, you know, or something. It's that sort of thing that, like just things that have bothered me because I couldn't identify them, and now I go, oh, I can, you know, so that's fun. So I found the cross fertilization has actually been good.
Great. That's very interesting for me to know too, so thank you. But I'm really glad this worked for you. That's amazing.
Yeah, well, I think I've always been a bit of a like mosaic type learner rather than a linear learner, and so I go like, oh yeah, so that's how that fits, and so on. So that's been good. And I was realizing the other day, looking at a piece, that I was actually able to, I thought actually a few months ago I would have really struggled looking at that left hand, or the flow of it maybe. I mean, I've always sort of been able to play the left hand, but actually the sort of left hand slightly more complex accompaniment, I would have struggled with. I thought, actually, I'm just looking at that and thinking, oh, I can do it. So It's a bit like watching a child grow. You don't always notice when you're set with them all the time.
Yes.
But when you haven't seen them for 3 months, you go like, oh
wow, haven't you grown? And they go, oh
yes. And I think that's some of the thing when you're learning, you don't necessarily see,
yes, it's really
that you have actually changed,
but
or
you have noticed it, which is brilliant. So that's fantastic. And you may find it might be interesting. I don't know whether it would like now or maybe in another 3 months time, but to go back and look at some of the homeworks that you sent in at the very beginning, because they're recorded.
Yeah.
You can go and have a look, and then you might really see some of the things that that you developed on or whatever it may be. So that's quite fun. Another really good benchmarker actually, guys, is to have, you've hopefully you've all heard me talk now about keeping a file of music, of pieces that you really love and that you've got to know and you want to kind of keep as your repertoire. So whatever you want to call it can be your happy music book, or it can be your performing book, or it can be your pieces I've kind of got a handle on books, not such a catchy title, but whatever it might be, that you can go back to. But it's amazing then, because you go back to the pieces, you're having a play session, you think, oh, I'll play through my book, and then you find that things you thought were hard were easy. I mean, I always am blown away now when I go and open a classical piece that I studied at university, when you think that in a way I've been, doing all sorts of ridiculous things for the last few years. That's really unfair, sorry, Harp. Actually, because I've learnt to improvise and to play by ear so much better, and studied, realized about these shapes and all this other stuff, when I look at that music now, it's so easy to decode. I'm just like, I wish I'd done that 10 years ago, but it's this completely different ball game. So I find that even with these big 50-page long stupidly complicated pieces, so yes, it's great to have pieces somewhere separately that you can come back to and go, oh, so that's just a sus4 chord, for instance, like you said. So so keep a folder, go back and look at some of your early homeworks as well, but it may be even more interesting, I think, in another 3 months, so maybe hold off for now. But as you say, when you leave a gap, when you don't see a child for a while, then you notice a massive change in them. So it's the same with our learning.
It was sort of, I think it was probably for the Edinburgh, because I was doing all these different things at Harp Festival, and I'd sort of signed up to everything, which was intense. But we were learning a new piece and a new piece and a new piece, and actually, instead of going like, it was, I can sort of do this. I mean, not like really well, but I can do it and keep up, which is really nice. Yeah.
Brilliant, fantastic. Okay, so you've enjoyed it. You've enjoyed being in lots of courses, because I was worried. I'm always a bit worried about this, whether it can be too overloading. And it sounds like you've seen some development, so that's all very good. So I'll come around again to you and ask you another question in a bit, but I shall go to Lisa next, if that's all right. Lisa, you're next in my little circle. Thank you. Hi, Lisa.
Thanks for sending that email. Hi.
That's right. Well, I saw your message and I thought, did I not send it? I will just resend it to everyone first, and then I'll go and check. And I found it, and it was great. So it's useful because somebody may have seen it and then come, and even if they've forgotten. So it's always good. So thank you. Don't worry.
You did send it earlier, and I looked and looked. I seriously spent 20 minutes looking, and I couldn't find it. It's okay. I probably deleted it.
Yes, it was. Normally I don't send things out until a day or two before, but I sent it out last week because last week I half said we do it on Sunday, hadn't I? So that's why. So it's my fault.
No, it's okay. Thanks. I couldn't find it.
Okay.
I think I like the improv and the by ear stuff because it's really hard for me. Okay. So because we were doing it more often, I think I was getting a little bit better at it. Ooh, or at least more comfortable with it and not scared of it.
That's amazing. That's brilliant. So as you've heard me say before, and even tonight, I feel that they inform each other so much. If you learn your improvisation and you're playing by ear, even if you decide that you're always going to play with music in front of you and written down, it just, once you can improvise and play by ear, you can escape anything that might go wrong, so that you're a stronger player when you can do these other strands, as I call them, of playing. So that's amazing. That's fantastic. Have you, because you've done quite a few, well, you did one, didn't you, as your main focus, but have you felt overwhelmed, or have you felt it's been okay? How have you?
Well, in the fall I had signed up for 1 and 2, and because of harvest and just life schedules, it was too much. So I redid the 1, and it was much easier. Brilliant. It was far easier to stay focused for me anyways.
And I read your review. Thank you very much. The testimonial is lovely. Thank you. And noticed, that you said that you even though you were coming to it with well, you didn't say this, but this is what I'm going to say. Even though you were coming to it with loads of brilliant skills already, you enjoyed, you know, going back over the foundations. And then, of course, it's given you, you had the brain space then to work on the improv and the by ear, because you're not being overwhelmed with learning to read music. If someone going through start harp level 1 totally from scratch, it's, you know, it's a lot, isn't it? But so that's, I'm glad that you experienced it positively like that. That's great. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
Good. And Lisa, are you pleased with your, you know, your progress? Are you happy with the way your techniques developing and things? Because I feel you've done loads.
I do, because even some days I know my thumbs stay down still.
Okay.
But halfway through, I'm like, oh, come on, thumbs, and they'll come up. So it's coming.
Yes, that's great. That's brilliant. Fantastic. Okay, brilliant. So hopefully you're enjoying it so far. It's been lovely, you know, working with you, and I will come back to you again in a minute or two if that's all right.
Yes,
Fantastic. Judy, would you like to go next, please? Is that okay?
Yeah, I am signed up for quite a few things. And at one point I did find it, I just had to kind of pull back.
Yeah,
It
sure.
was just too much, but I'm really glad that I did level 1, because I'm really trying to slow down and improve my technique, and it is improving, but it takes time and it's not automatic yet. So I need to keep working on it. And you know, I never tire of practicing chords, oddly enough. I do the triads a lot, and I do the inversions just as a warm-up. And it just I never tire of it. I'm trying to really look at how I'm playing the chords as well. So, and then again, as you've given us the idea of playing one finger at a time, because I was finding it's hover and then grab, and rather than land. So land is softer. So I need to remember not to grab all the notes, just land, and then just put on the string. So
lots of tension under everything, you mean?
So, yeah.
Yes, because and that's brilliant. I mean, that's a wonder. I'm really happy that, you know, you've clocked that and you're working on that, because I think that's a massive saver on your hands and your tendons and everything. And also, you know, if you've got, once you develop the control for that landing, and then only putting as much pressure as you need when you're about to need it, it's developing such fine control, isn't it, of each finger, that then when you want to play expressively, which, you know, something that you sort of talked about, you know, to phrase and shape melody and play in different ways, if you can control the pressure, that's, you know, that's probably 60-70% of what you've got to be able to do to make all the different sounds that you can make on the harp. So it's a brilliant one to be working on. Yeah.
And definitely when you use your thumb correctly, you do get a tone.
Yes.
So I've noticed that, and if I start playing two hands together and I can hear it, I think, oh yeah, my thumb is not doing a full, you know, bending fully. So it's making a difference, but it's still, I need more. So that's been great. And the Pop with Pizzazz, I do want to do a testimonial for that, because it's not just for people who are advanced and have have all the equipment and stuff, because there's so many little things that make you be able to play more interesting and with more emphasis.
Yeah.
I think it's really good for anybody.
Great.
I mean,
it was our last session, wasn't it, when I actually clocked the fact that was Pop with Pizzazz, in a way, was probably from what you'd said to me in the beginning that you wanted to achieve in your playing. I think that actually, out of all my courses, Pop with the Pizzazz is the best one for you to get the different expressive tones and styles and out of the harp. So yes, it was. I think you're absolutely right. And the other thing, thank you for saying you do a testimonial on it, because I think you know, it's called Pop with Pizzazz, but it's actually arranging, composing, playing with flair. You know, it's many things, isn't it? So maybe I have to redo it with a different name one day. But yeah, I mean, I'm so glad you've got loads out of that, and it's really, you know, and I'm glad, because as you say, you know, you don't need all the technology for it to be useful too. So yeah.
That's right. Yeah, but it is inspiring. I mean, there's something to aim for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
And looking at the other people there, wow, it's like, okay, down the road, I will want to do that too.
Yeah.
So
I think there's a lot of people in our course, in the Pop with Pizzazz course, that have more kit than me. So it's definitely a good a place where to see lots of kits is really good as well. Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Well, fantastic. I will come back to you in a minute, but it sounds like, you know, you've seen progress. You did do a lot of courses, but then you were able to control your sort of studies by going, okay, I'm gonna have to rein it in a bit, and yeah, and so it sounds like it's all good, but I'll come back to you again in a minute for the moving forward sort of thoughts. Thank you, brilliant. Okay, Kate, would you like to unmute? Hi.
Hi.
You've had an epic time, so I know. But how have the last few months been for you with your harp?
I have to say, there's been something really incredible about seeing so many people in so many different courses
Yeah.
and seeing them all dip in and out. And it's been a case of, oh, look, Felicity's here, Lisa's here, Julie's here. Like, wow!
Yes.
It's not just me that's in everything. It's a real joy,
Yes.
and it's just been lovely. And I mean, I totally agree with Julie that pop with pizzazz is just so full of so many things,
Yeah.
no matter what, when it comes to kit.
Yes.
And that's fantastic. And you know, I mean, pop is not my genre, and I know it's not. But
you love the modes course, but you've got loads out of the
yeah, and modes has been amazing.
Yeah.
But and all of them have definitely helped my hands together, which is my constant bugbear.
Yes, yeah. Well, it's sort of your this year's. Well, I'm sure it's
Yeah.
3 years, but it's something you wanted to particularly work on, isn't it? So, and
It,
or is that
yeah. No, it really is, because hands together is my huge bugbear. But the other thing I've found that I'm definitely improving with is sight reading
That's amazing.
and reading in the bass clef,
Brilliant. Okay.
which is just amazing. It's quite an eye opener to go, oh God, that's just an octave below that one. Oh my goodness.
Do you think that comes down to flourishing harpists and the shapes and things sinking in, or do you think it's everything? Or I mean, it probably.
I think flourishing harpist with the shapes has definitely helped that move along faster. But I think it's a combination of everything else as well.
And probably also just the volume. I mean, Felicity, I know that you've touched on this, but you know, you said just sort of sometimes you've turned up for something and you thought, oh well, you know, should I be going to this? I'm not sure. Oh well, you know, I just, you know, soak everything up as I can, and clearly, you know, there is that, you know, if you completely just bombard yourself, in some ways it can be totally overwhelming, but in other ways you sort of you're so immersed in it that it just becomes sort of part of you in the end. So
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, with all the pieces, I always download and print everything. And I mean, dynamic harps, I always think I can second part.
Yeah.
And then I go, I haven't time. I've got to do the basic one.
Right. Okay. Yes. Yeah.
But I know then that I've got that springboard to move on to the next part.
Yes. Yes. Of course you have. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Brilliant. Well, it does sound. I mean, I know it's been busy, but you've been very busy. But it does. I know. It sounds like you've had some positive experiences despite it all, and that's great. And I'm so glad you've enjoyed the modes, because I know that modes was, you know, right for the Start Harp 2016 group, which was the first group that was here when I wrote and developed. Well, I'd already written it, but when I filmed Start Harp initially, you were one of the people that were there when Rebecca was like, can you tell us more about modes, because I put a bit in level 2, probably because she asked me, I suspect. I can't remember. No, I was going to do it anyway because the C major thing, but you know, I think it was from there that was asked. And so you've been waiting 5 years for that course.
Yeah, we have waited a while, but it was worth the wait. It's fantastic, and I love the modes course.
Oh, I'm so glad. Well, brilliant. Okay, so you said lots of positive things. I would love to. I think maybe what we'll do next. Thank you, Kate. I'll come around again. I really want to hear, you know, talk about our plans for next. But what I'd love to actually just hear, I'd love to hear your biggest, your biggest challenge or hope or focus hope for, you know, right now. So Kate, you know, hands together. You're going to tell me it's hands together. I know. You know, mine. What would mine be at the moment? Oh. Yes, I don't know what. I want to make a CD, because I was meant to record one. I probably said this to you last year in March. I was down to film one, record one, sorry, at the end of March, and it didn't happen. And then anyway, so but that's a wider thing. Anyway, I probably want to work on, I don't know, really developing my percussive stuff and really just owning it and not feeling guilty about any of it. That's probably what I want to work on. I want to get rid of the baggage, the classical baggage, and just go for it with my electric harp. That's probably what I want to work on right now. So Felicity, is there something that, you know, your big sort of either challenge right now or thing, you know, that you want to work on right now? Oh, I can't hear you yet. It's okay. It's because you're on a different thing.
I want to carry on, you know, working on this idea, you know, the performing live.
Okay. Yes, which
and that doesn't, I don't feel, at least I don't feel sweaty before it now, which is progress.
That's very quick progress. That's brilliant.
Sort of, you know,
Seriously.
but I'd like to be able to actually not make mistakes that I don't make when I'm not doing it live. So, but you know, that's,
I mean, the more you
right
do it,
direction.
the biggest thing with that is just the more you do it, the easier it's
Yeah,
going to become. But
I
yes,
can
okay.
do that. And I think probably offbeat rhythms
Okay.
and having more control so that I can really get different sort of sense of dynamics.
Okay. Brilliant. I'm hearing pop with pizzazz here.
Just that sense of you know, this getting out the, you know, really being able to play pianissimo or
Yes. Yeah.
you know, whatever it is, but really having that control. I've just actually also using my I've put some new strings into my bigger harp now, and also I think, you know, my limbs have improved. So I'm sort of going to be using that more, and obviously that's got, well, that's a Tavy Gwenel, so it's a bit like a slightly smaller EOS, which is totally different from my other one.
Very different and a big
So,
toe.
that's another learning curve as well, because the different spacings, different tension.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's okay. It's fine. You know, you can learn to move between them very easily. It's just to start with, it will take time. So that's fine. Okay, so that's really interesting to know. So I'm going to try and keep that. I should have written notes. I realized I should have written that down. But I will, when we come to talk about, you know, your next steps. Then we'll see what we can, how we can really help you focus in the courses on those next steps. I'm excited about Flourishing Harpist for you with what you've just said, I have to say. But yeah, okay, brilliant. Lisa, can I hear from you the same thing, please?
I think it is the same thing.
Okay.
Because in the Start Harp 1, when we got to the dynamics, I'm either loud or quiet, and both hands are the same. They're both loud. I can't do one quiet and one loud, but
okay. So balance between the hands and things. You know, interestingly, I don't think I've in anywhere gone on about that a lot, have I, Kate? That is a perfect immersion topic, Lisa, and it's also perfect. I'm thinking of a mini summer school for things that, you know, that I haven't done that I'd like to do this year, and maybe that could go into that. Let me just write it down so that I can be. I mean, I'll talk to you about it. I mean, no, definitely, in Kate, we do talk about it from time to time. That control of one and over the other, but it would be a really cool immersion. On left and right balance, really, isn't it? Okay. Yes. Okay. Fantastic. So this, I mean, this comes down to control. What jumped into my head when Felicity was talking about it, so I'll say it as you both sort of said a similar thing, was that everything we do, you know, to technique wise, and you know, all the warm-up exercises, you know, things like I'm not sure, I've not got any sound tonight, but things like when we've done, I'm not sure I'll be able to get loud and soft on this now because I've got no sound, but you know, when we've done like loud, soft, loud, soft. Have you come across that yet in any of my workshops? You know, when we've done, and then we do it the other way around, we go soft, loud, soft, loud, soft. Kate, you've done this. I'm not sure where it's come up. But anyway, Lisa, what I'm basically all the warm-ups that I do with you in all the courses, every single one is kind of gearing us towards having ultimate control of our fingers, and the same, actually, this actually ties in, Judy, with what you were saying about wanting to make, you know, again, coming back to the phrasing and the shaping and the character of what you're doing. All the technique we work on is totally gearing us up to having control of our fingers, isn't it? Ultimate control of our fingers, so we can tell them exactly what we want them to do, to, you know, to tell a love story, or to tell you know, tell a dance, or to tell a, you know, or to have the, you know, the whispering footsteps of the butterfly with the troll. I don't know, you know, I'm thinking of something loud and soft there, Lisa, but you know, everything we do is training ourselves to try and be able to have that control. And so everything we're doing lends itself to working then on your beauty of your phrasing, and to be working on your control of your fortissimo and your pianissimo. The interesting thing, Lisa, that you just tapped into was the isolating one over the other, wasn't it? You know, or having differences, sorry, between one and the other. And there are certain things that you can do, and to start with, it's things like the demo that I was trying to do on the harp that has no sound. Should I just turn on my sound? I haven't thought about playing tonight. I'll just turn it on there. Oops. So I fall over my kit. Sorry, I'm not meant to be teaching tonight, but I can't help it, can I? Okay, I'm not plugged that in either. This won't take me long. I'll just plug it in here. Hang on. There may be a pop. Don't panic if there's a pop. Okay. I won't have exploded myself. That's just what happens. Okay. Okay. Oh. Right. So what I was trying to say was this exercise is a really good one for working on your control, but where you do if you've got 4 fingers going in a scale, first of all, accenting just 4. I think I do this in flourishing harpist actually is what I'm thinking, Kate. Yeah. Anyway, so you do loud, soft, 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 loud, soft, 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 loud, soft, 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 loud, and then you go soft, loud, soft, 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 loud, soft, 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 loud, soft, 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 loud, soft. So I went through each finger there, well, 2 out of the 4 fingers, and then you would do the others as well. So you're really getting one hand to be in control of where you want, which one is loud and which one is soft. I know we're just talking extremes here, but you can be more subtle with it too. Then you can do it rhythmically where you're going like doing it on beat 1 each time. So it might be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's interesting when you start doing it on beats because it changes which finger is accenting. So you're switching then. So it's kind of the same exercise, but it's like it's another one of these, you know. And then if you were wanting, then the subtleties of working with both hands doing different things, you know, I would say to start with, you know, do something where you're just tickling up here, and then, you know, make your left hand do something really strong while you're just tickling, you know, just to really to start with, just to get it used to it, where you're really doing something really simple, you know, and then. And again, you know, just something simple. So that would be the first port of call on that. A really interesting one again, which is actually just in one hand, not in 2, which Kate, you've definitely heard me talk about over the years, is where you practice doing your octaves and you practice accenting one half of it. So what I just did there was I did the loud on the 4 and I kept the thumb soft. So hopefully you couldn't really hear the octave, but only a tiny bit. It was decorating. I'll try it the other way around now. Hopefully, she says, is this going to work? Yes, okay. So that's also another really good way of really working on your control. But to start with, you know, you would, and another really good way of doing this, I'm sorry, I'm really not meant to be teaching, I'm so sorry, I'm stealing your session, right, is to do something where you would do, okay, I'm going to do C major chords, and I want the right to be soft and the left to be loud. So to start with, and this is a bit like we practiced, what was it we did? What is it called? Cross fingering, didn't we? But you could do it like this, where you would go, okay, soft, loud, soft, loud, soft, loud, soft, loud, and then try and get them fast together. So soft, loud. So you're getting the gap different. So to start with, I was giving myself loads of time to think soft, loud, soft, loud. Then I was changing the space, soft, loud, and then I can try it together. Okay, where I'm trying to make the lower one loud and the upper one soft. So that's another good way of working on that. But Lisa, as I say, and Felicity, you know, as far as volume control is concerned, we do talk about this in Flourishing Harpist. It's week 1, I think, in particular, isn't it, Kate? We talk about phrasing. But everything we do gears towards dynamics. You know, and being able to make dynamics. So actually everything you're doing over this year is going to help you be able to have control of your dynamics. But I think it would be lovely to add something extra in the summer if I do it. I still can't decide what to do over the summer. I can talk to you about that if we have time. But yes, thank you. Okay, Lisa, is there anything else? Because I feel like I just stole you chatting to me by going, rah, 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 rah. So I stop talking now, see if there's anything else you want to say.
Well, I'm the same too. I just want to learn everything. And so it's nice having a lot of the courses, but I know I have to step back and not do all of them or I won't get anything anyway.
Yes.
But that's me. So yeah, just focusing on my technique and the dynamics.
Brilliant. Okay. And dynamics is your expression, isn't it, of melody? So it's something that we're going to keep on working on over time. And Flourishing Harpist, week 1 for sure, we go into that a bit more as well. Brilliant. Fantastic. Okay, Judy, I'm sorry, I really went off on one. I didn't mean to. So Judy, your biggest challenge right now, or thing you particularly want to work on right now?
Well, I think just more of the same, honestly. I think working on technique and then trying to get good technique using both hands at the same time.
Yeah.
And I want to get smoother because sometimes I'm a bit hesitating. So I either need to slow down, so that I can do it all smoothly. And I've just started the metronome course. So I want to be able to use the metronome a lot more and just get smoother in my playing.
That's a brilliant goal. And, you know, this has popped into my head twice already tonight. This so-and-so needs to do the metronome course or would benefit from the metronome course. So even if you haven't done the metronome course yet, guys, or even if you have, I should say, you know, we have a week before the term starts. Maybe you could pop in, because I would say out of all the short courses I've done, probably the metronome course is the most useful one I've actually ever delivered. So yes, that's a great one to be. Good choice, Judy, good choice. So smoothness, phrasing, and good foundation techniques really for you then.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Keeping, as you say, then more of the same, really, carrying on along the journey of the Start Harp, which should see you in good stead for that. Brilliant. Kate, same for you. And you're not allowed to say time.
It's really interesting hearing Felicity and Lisa say about, you know, getting the volume between the hands
Yes.
and things like that. Because I found the other day I was doing something and I was telling myself that finger 2 needed to be louder than finger 1.
Okay.
And then I was playing it the wrong way around. I mean,
yes.
dyslexic fingers.
Yes. Yes.
And I was getting so cross with myself. And I was like, no, step back, step away, just start again in 5 minutes. And that really helped, just sort of walking away and saying, no, I'll come back to it.
That's a really good point, actually, isn't it? We have to all remember that. Sometimes it's just worth stepping away from that.
Because I was busy telling myself, finger 2, finger 2, finger
Yes.
2, and then still doing finger 1. I'm going, this is ridiculous. How can you be so dopey? I mean, this is just nuts.
How you would speak to the children you work with, so it's not the way to speak to yourself. Yes. Okay. At least
I was like, no, step away from the harp.
Yeah.
Go and make the tea.
Yeah.
And then come back.
I mean, I think you've heard me say many times that I used to find it's just beyond difficult to be able to do, or to be able to go, so have fingers going in the opposite direction. I mean, like beyond, and I just thought that I was not very right, you know. And in the end, I had to really kind of just learn to go outside notes, inside notes, outside notes, inside notes, because I was so busy trying to sort of think in fingers and things, although in the case that you just, the example you given, you have to think about fingers, but I was so busy that I had to find a different way in. So it may be, you know, taking the break gave you that different way in, but yeah, tapping it can be a good one, can't it? Okay, so that's brilliant. And also in that particular instance, I'm thinking back to the exercise I just picked out for Lisa, would be a great one to do, you know. So it's that everyday exercise approach of when you hit a brick wall like that, going, right, okay, what is the thing that I'm finding challenging, and how can I make it so easy for myself that it's no longer a thing? And so, you know, maybe just doing those 2 things on their own, or just doing one, just be like, okay, thumb, it's you are it's you, and just doing the thumb for a while, you know. So always that, you know, trying to strip it back until it becomes, it's no longer a thing, it's just something you can do because you made it so easy, and then you can put it back into the sandwich it came from, the musical sandwich it came from. I don't know why
I love the outside in.
Yes. Yeah.
That, I mean, there are certain things I've gone, I can't play that. I'm doing the opposite way in each hand. And then you said outside in, and I thought, actually, just slow it right down, really slow it down.
Yes.
To excruciatingly slow.
And you've heard me say verbalizing is a big deal for me as well. So saying things out loud, because it seems to be like then you're more teaching yourself and you're hearing it a different way, and then your brain regurgitates their words to you later on when you're not thinking about it. It was a terrible word. I'm using all sorts of ridiculous words tonight. I'm so sorry. Anyway,
verbalizing it is amazing. Verbalizing it is just so
yes.
so important,
Really
definitely. So yeah.
Okay, brilliant. So I'm going to come around one last time, and I want to talk about your what next steps. Okay, so before I do, you know, the new term is beginning on the 25th, isn't it? So it's next week officially for most of the courses. So Start Harp 1, 2, and 3 is restart on Sunday. And we carry on meeting Sunday nights, so you're used to that. There is the Flourishing Harpist course, which you guys haven't yet been had access to. Flourishing Harpist is an interesting one because it's sort of level 4, but it's also accessible for almost any level, because of when it got taught. Actually, it got taught at the beginning of the pandemic, and loads of my ensemble students came to it, and so I ended up with quite a diverse range of students. But I had right through, you know, I've had two teachers take it, harp teachers take it, and send lovely reports of it, you know, in afterwards. So it's it really is multi-level. So what I'm saying is that one, you know, in a way, I think it would be marvelous if you could come to that one in September. But if you are very keen to get your fingers on it, then, you know, you can of course start it now as well. So I'll leave that up, you know, just let that sink into your minds right now. Then there is modes and pop, which will rerun in September, and in a way for you guys this is slightly not so helpful. I'm dovetailing them, so they will actually run simultaneously, and then we'll have, so they're 6-week courses, they'll both run over 12, so within within 12 weeks, or would it be 14? I can't remember, I've confused myself over this. Basically, you'll get week 1 modes 1 week in your inbox, then you'll get week 1 pop the next week in your inbox, and you'll be so confused you won't know what. No, you'll be fine. But well, so basically each one will arrive every other week, which will give you 2 weeks to work on modes, and then 2 weeks to work on week 1 pop, 2 weeks to work on week 2 modes, 2 weeks to work on week 2 pops. So it's not so useful for you, I realize, but you already have the content available to you if you want to have it, just dip in and out when you want to. And if you didn't say yes to the courses and you'd like to, I can just send you the link to the run that's just happened, so you can get it over the summer or whatever. And what else was I going to say about that? And then there'll be live sessions every other week for Mode and Pop in September. There is another course which I haven't yet delivered. It's new, and I say it's new, it doesn't exist yet, called Play Your Harp Out. So kind of play your heart out, play your harp out, learning to not learning but talking about, you know, performing out. So Felicity, this ties very much into what you were talking about. So, you know, I want to talk about the, you know, how we feel about it. I want to talk about preparing for it, sorting ourselves out, being ready for different environments. So like in Flourishing Harpists, I do one all about working in an ensemble setting, don't I, or working with other musicians. So, you know, I want to cover that a bit, but, you know, I'm talking about, you know, when you got to play in a group or when you're going up to play on your own and things like that. The course that I have already delivered is one that was aimed at gigging harpists, my sort of university level gigging harpists, but it you know, I'm going to make it so it's useful for everyone. Repertoire planning, key planning, so that you don't have, and style planning, so you don't end up playing a set that's all the same pieces in a row, you know, so you can start working out if you're going to play 3 tunes, you know, are you going to play all slow airs in Dorian mode? Probably not. You know, it's great to kind of mix things up. So it's going to be interesting. I hope it won't be as unruly as pop, because I feel like it's another one of these topics that I could expand in any direction. But anyway, that's the plan. And the plan for that is to deliver it starting on the 10th of May. But only you guys know about it, really. It's on my website, but only you guys know about it. So you can let me know if you think that's ridiculous timing for you or whatever. And if it is, you'll be able to get a rerun. Finally, there's going to be a Harp weekend on the 11th and 12th of September. Yes, Kate. And I haven't yet decided how that's going to be, but it will definitely be an ensemble element. It lands with our immersion weekend anyway, so you'll be in on the immersion. I'll give you access to the whole course, whatever it ends up being. You guys are going to have access. I know it wasn't on the original offer, but you will just get an in on it. I will just invite you to everything. And one last thing, in the middle of the summer, I may do this summer school idea, or that may tie in with the Harp weekend. So things like Lisa, we just talked about, that balance idea is a lovely topic to cover. Somebody else wanted me to do unusual time signatures, so it's another sort of quirky topic. Well, quirky, but, you know, less, maybe not such a popular topic, to learning about unusual time signatures. And transposition, Kate, somebody asked me about as well. So it's just these sort of little things I might just do. You know, I could, even if it's like just a 20-minute micro class on those topics, I might do something like that. So you know, you are in a great position to just ask me what you want me to teach you for that, you know, so, you know, have that in the back of your minds too. So now I've given you all that. Oh, there is one other thing as well, so I keep saying one last thing. I may offer modes, Play Your Harp Out, and pop in the summer as a turn up and Shelley's not present courses, and they might just run as 6 weeks, delivered to your inbox, but there won't be any live element. So if you decide you want to do that as well, I might do that. I probably won't, but it depends on demand, so we'll see. Okay, so Felicity, what's next for you? How are we going to make sure that you look after yourself over the next few months in the summer term, and don't overwhelm, and get what you need? I mean, what you mentioned to me, you know, I know you're all going to love Flourishing Harpist. I know you are. It's just a case of, do you do it now, or do you do, you know, is my feeling would be it would be better if you can bear to do more start harp now and do flourishing harpist in September, but I don't mind. But just that's my feeling. But I also then know that you would enjoy doing flourishing harpist twice, but it is even bigger, I think, content wise, Kate, wouldn't you say, than start harp? Yes, although in some ways you can turn up to you can listen to flourishing harpist and not practice it in a way. I don't mean that in a bad way, but I call it a library of ideas. So it's, you know, it's very much, you know, here's a sheet that's going to be helpful to you forever. That's my goal anyway, you know, on shapes. Or here's another sheet that's got all the rhythms, you know, and helpful rhythms. And here's a sheet that's got here's 50 sheets that help you work out your own fingering in a piece of music. You know, so actually in some ways it's a course that you can go through and almost ignore and not practice for, and just take the goodness out of, and then you could actually take it properly, if you like, in September. So if you do turn up to everything, you guys have that in your minds, maybe that you don't totally go for flourishing harpist now, you keep with the start harp stuff for now if you can, but you know, if you can't bear to not look, then you can come to flourishing harpist and then take it properly in the autumn, in the fall. Okay, sorry, so Felicity,
Okay.
yes. What are you going to
I had been wondering whether to do flourishing harpist.
Yes.
First, partly because I have this sort of impending sense of too many weekend visitors.
Yes.
Now that people are being released and all want to come and see me, which is lovely. But it's sort of, if people only come for a weekend or a long weekend, it's really hard to say, actually, sorry, I'm busy on Sunday night. You know, it's tricky. And I know I can catch up, but it's not the same catching up as doing things live.
No.
For me.
No, I know you're absolutely right. I mean,
which is why I try to turn up to things live, because you know it's easy to put off checking on stuff that's been recorded.
Yes.
Or life gets in the way.
Yes.
So I had thought, because I know a few of the immersion things, or maybe something I've done with Harps Northwest, it's just something else I'm doing, has been, you know, have been based on, if you're a flourishing harpist, there's a few things. You did something which you said was, oh, it was the thing you did back in, was it January? How to basically how to play anything. You said it was based on flourishing harpist, how to, you know, break down a piece or whatever.
Yes, you can do it workshop,
yeah,
wasn't it? Yes.
That's right.
I mean, I do think I until I said it just now, I hadn't thought of it like this, but actually, you know, flourishing harpist is it's kind of I think it may be a book one day, who knows. Well, actually there is a book for it that's almost done, but not the same book, and now I'm confusing my brain. But there are you know, there's these 12 big topics, but they are topics that are topics for life as harpists. And then, you know, even if you just go in the first run and you turn up live on the Wednesday nights and you download the worksheets, you know, you probably still get quite a bit out of it, wouldn't you, Kate? You think? And then you can come back and actually, you know, learn the pieces and do more of the playing in the autumn. But are you going to do lots of start harp though as well this term?
Well, what I'm this is a this it's not set in stone yet, but what I was thinking was to do the flourishing harpers, which will be less of a clash with all these visitors and things, and well, there's already 2 set up for June, you see, so and then perhaps review some of the start harp 2 and possibly some of the sort of end stage bits of start harp 1.
Okay, yep.
And then I have the option to do flourishing harp again in September potentially, and also then do start harp 3.
I mean, that sounds fine. You know, the thing about start harp 3 is it's you know, 1 and 2 very much lead on from each other, and 3 does as well, but 3 takes you through this modulation process and changing key idea, and that's and joining pieces and all sorts of things, and then it has, you know, we deal with certain techniques and things that we don't cover in the other 2 courses. But actually I can see that I've had people do flourishing harps and then go 3, haven't I, or even go flourishing harps and then 1 and then 2. What, you know, whichever way you do it will be fine, but actually, you know, if you were jumping 1 to flourishing harpist, I'd probably say but I think 2 to flourishing harpist would be
because I've been doing a lot of different workshops in different places as well, you know. I mean, I sort of, so some things are sort of higher level than others, you know, so I've sort of mix and match, and I've actually been doing DHCs Baroque Flamenco Challenge this last week as well. So I haven't been having a week off, and I've got to.
That was well timed actually for us, wasn't it? Then the gap, yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So that's sort of what I'm thinking at the moment, partly because then I'm not going to be stressing about people coming and interrupting my harp.
Yeah. And I mean,
sounds awful,
you've
but
already done modes and pop, haven't you? So you don't have to do them in the autumn, because then I'm just thinking then you might be level 3, which you really want to do live and get the goodness out of.
yeah.
She says.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you know, then you will have that and Flourishing Harpist, and then if you were trying to do the other two, that would just be insane, wouldn't it? I said if you're trying to do them properly, but you have already followed these other two, so
yeah, and or maybe I just see how I start with them, just take a look and see how it settles out, depending on, you know. But I think I'd like to sort of certainly look into the Flourishing Harpist at this stage.
And you know, one of the first things you said tonight was that you had enjoyed doing lots of things, and you'd enjoyed, and you're a mosaic learner, you said, and that you enjoy how, you know, you've enjoyed watching everything pieced together and going, aha, that fits with that, and that was in modes, and that was in so you know, to me it sounds like you as a person are going to be totally okay with that. It wouldn't necessarily be everyone's journey, but for you it sounds like that's a good idea. So, you know, yeah. I'm comfortable with that, but don't miss level 3 live, that's all I would say.
No, I'm not going to miss it. I won't miss it. And also, if I think, am I right in saying that if we've done it and we wanted to do it live again anyway, we could do it again? Is it for £75? Sort of. I know we can review it all for a year anyway, but
review it in your own time anyway. And if in 2022 you decided you wanted to do something again, I've never. I mean, I've had somebody come back this year who took it in 2016 and they paid £75 to redo the course.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So there's always that backup as well.
The door is always open.
Yes, and I feel as if somehow the Flourishing Harpist stuff might actually feed into the level 3 stuff.
Definitely. I mean, Flourishing Harpist,
the way I work, you know.
I mean, it's everything. In a way, it's everything that we all need to know, isn't it, Kate? I mean, I actually think it's probably my best course. I don't know, but I feel like it's the most useful course in some ways. But they're all things, you know, they're all different in their own way. But Flourishing Harpist was literally me trying to do everything that adult learners had asked me that they were finding challenging, and it's kind of all put into one place in a way. Mm-hmm. It's kind of most sort of problem solving in a way for every and multi-leveled. Yeah. So yeah, okay, brilliant, fantastic. Okay, so Felicity, I think I'm going to see you in Flourishing Harpist and level 2 perhaps live then next term.
Yeah. Yes, and who knows what else.
Fantastic. And Play Your Harp Out would be great for you, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I think so. and I may have to go in about 5 minutes.
That's fine. I hadn't meant to run. I've talked too much tonight, but anyway, yes. That's fine.
Yes. Okay.
Lisa,
thank
you. See you next then.
Brilliant.
So Lisa, what's your plan, or is there anything I can help you with your plan?
Well, you just added to the plan now.
Sorry.
It's okay. I was thinking of Harp Start 2.
Brilliant. Yeah.
But could I do maybe the Flourishing and Harp Start at the same time?
The way I just described it, I think if you went into it with a mindset that you were just going to download the sheets and you were going to attend the live sessions even, or even just download the sheets and watch the overview videos each week so you know what it's about, then you've peeped in and you've got the handouts and everything, and then you can just see how you feel, can't you, as we go through. I mean, I'd love, I really, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 in a way, but as long as you're doing everything, as long as it's definitely much better to go 1, 2, 3 in a row. But definitely, but sitting Flourishing Harpist aside, 2 or 3 is okay. I don't know that it would go with 1, Kate, but I think as soon as you've got some, I'm thinking of some of our ladies who did it the first time round, as long as they could play hands together, and it's what the rhythm week. I mean, I helped some people with rhythm in a way that, what am I trying to say? I don't know. There were some real foundation rhythm things for some people, and then there were other people who there were some much more complicated rhythm things that we worked on. So I think at any level, it's Flourishing Harpist is useful as long as but I would major your concentrations into 2 so that you are thinking 1, 2, 3, and same for Felicity. You know, put your biggest focus into 2, you know, so that you definitely getting that 1, 2 journey, but flourishing harpist can be like your cherry on the cake for a while. And then if you've got time for it and brain space and it works, then great. You know, yeah. Okay, and would you do play your harp out if it came along, or do you think that might be too much?
When was that again?
I've planned it for 10th of May, but only you guys know about it, so I'm just trying to get a feeler for how you, whether you are keen for it or whether it feels too much.
How many weeks is it going to be?
6-week course again, so I probably run it over 8, like I have the modes with an introduction and a review.
I think it would be super useful, actually.
Okay.
If we ever get out in public again.
I know, of course we will. Maybe we should have a special thing performing on Zoom as well. We'll have something in things that Shelley's done wrong in the last 12 months that you can learn from her and never do. Yes, and that, yeah, okay, brilliant. Okay, I mean, I think it's going to be a useful course, so it can be like the others, you know, you can just dip in and come to the live sessions, and if it's too much, you know that it's there for you to visit later as well, can't it? So
yeah, it sounds good. I think it would be really useful.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you, Lisa. Okay, so you have a plan. You're going to do 2, you're going to peep at Flourishing Harpist, and you might come along to play your harp out as well.
Yep.
Amazing, fantastic. Okay, brilliant, bravo. Judy, how about you?
I'm planning to do Start Harp 3.
Yeah.
And I'd like to do Flourishing Harp as well, but if I need to pull back, I'm going to pull back and focus on the Start Harp 3. Okay. That's what my focus is going to be. But I would like to, because Flourishing Harp is not as much a progression, it's more on topics. Is that correct?
Yes, that's exactly correct.
And is there homework for Flourishing?
There are, I call them master classes, so you come and do it live. You can send it in as homework, but the idea is if you attend, okay, you play live. So actually, Felicity, this is great for your goal as well, isn't it? So yeah, it's slightly different, isn't it, Kate? It's not feedback as such. It's that you play a thing and we work on it together in the sessions. Okay. Kate maybe will tell you a little bit about it, but yeah, I think that's exactly the attitude. Actually, you know, if you all, and if you're watching the replay, you know, Flourishing Harp is, you know, I would love you all to definitely do it in September. And if you want to sneak a peek now, or if you're ready for it now, and you know, that's fine. But try and follow the progression of 1, 2, 3 in order as well. So even, you know, Listy, even with what you're saying, you're still going 1, 2, 3, aren't you? It's just you're going to go 1, 2 in Flourishing, 3 in Flourishing, aren't you? So you are still following them in order. It's just you're going to pile them up as you go. Yeah. Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah. I plan to do Flourishing Harpist again in the fall and Pop with Pizzazz again.
Brilliant. And that's a great course.
The playing your harp out doesn't interest me right now.
Fine.
So,
yeah.
And I'm also an avid gardener, so this is a spring and summer are busy times for me.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, this is that's exactly one of the things I was wondering about, is I'm trying not to schedule too much over the summer, because I know that we're all, you know, going to try and want to make use of seeing people, the garden, being out, you know, everything. So yeah, fantastic. Okay, you have a plan and you look happy with it. Are you happy with your plan? Yes, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Kate, what's your plan?
Well, I'm not so green fingers as Judy. I tend to make plants die, but I like to be in the garden.
Okay, fine.
On the other hand, I can take the harp out there with me.
Oh, yes.
Particularly the little one.
Yes, of course.
Bring it home from work.
So, will you focus on Flourishing Harpists? Because there's that you have.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to do Flourishing and 3 again. I mean, I love level 3, and I know, I mean, this term pushed me because I did a piece that I wouldn't normally have done, and you know, thank you, Carolyn, for making me move away from my safe zone.
So, I mean, you know, with you, Kate, you know, because you have been in both these courses before, I would love you to just really try and focus on things that you didn't do very much last time. So, you know, it'll be great to revisit things. And, you know, Flourishing Harpist is, you know, very packed with this library of ideas I keep going on about. If you thought my other courses still packed. Anyway, but so yeah, what I mean is that maybe spend that time to find a piece you're going to work on, even if even with Flourishing Harpist, you could choose one piece and then apply all the ideas to it, couldn't you, as you then go over the 12 weeks. So I think that would be interesting for you to try. So yeah,
it would. There have definitely been parts of Flourishing Harpist that I have skated over the top of,
yes,
and I know I have. So it would be useful to focus on those more than the things that I know I've already participated in a more full way.
yeah. And there's the It Takes Two to Tango week, isn't there? So the working on hands together. So yeah.
I love working with other musicians week. That's just fabulous. But the sort of the s- the week where you do the sort of the score, where you've done the artistic sort of representation of the score. I
Oh
forget
yeah,
what that week's
I had
called.
a bit of a breakdown in the middle of Flourishing Harpist, everyone, because it was in the first lockdown, and I drew everyone pictures and made them play them. So I'm sorry about this. I do graphic. There's a week where we do extended techniques. So I'm being a bit frivolous here, but and so we look at graphic scores, which are kind of drawn pictures. Some of them, and some of them have got music on, and some of them haven't. But I did sit down with a box of watercolors one night and paint everyone some weird pictures and go, play this. So apologies when that week comes. It is the week when Shelley had a bit of a meltdown, I think.
I mean, the thing is, I've looked at that week every time and thought, I don't have time to really focus on this
I
week.
think you could really love it. I think if you
Yeah,
embrace think of Fee, do it for Fee this time. Yeah,
totally gonna do it for
Fee,
free.
we'll all
And
do it for Fee.
yeah, so I'm just sort of thinking when that week comes, I'm clearing everything else because I need to focus on that week because I have just skated over that week twice.
It's kind of, when you get to that week, suspending your disbelief and giving it a go, because it's just another way of allowing yourself to improvise and allowing yourself freedom from the page and allowing yourself to play at the level that you're at and nicely and just be in the mood of the music, isn't it? So it's so many things. Yeah.
That is very fee.
Yes. Okay, brilliant. I need to probably yes. So Kate, so you're going to do level 3 and Flourishing, and I'm sure that you'll do the new course if and when it runs. I mean, 10th of May is the goal. It's just I'm just was trying to get a feeler from you guys if it was wanted or wasn't wanted, but it sounds like a few of you would like it, so we'll go for it, I'm sure. Okay, brilliant. So Felicity says, which day even do you plan to play your harp out? It's a great question. So I suspect, and Felicity, I haven't 100% decided, but I suspect I'll do like I've done with Modes Reloaded, which does put it on a Saturday, because the problem is if I can't give up I can't use another weeknight. My husband's a bat worker, and I've already stolen half the nights of the week. So he's like, when can I actually work, Shelley? So it would have to be a daytime, and if I put it on daytime on a weekday, then half of the people across the pond, you guys, can't necessarily attend timing, so it's probably going to be on Saturdays, but there will be replays.
It's a horrible clash for me now because I have my the Edinburgh branch CARSAC
Right,
is 2 till 4 on alternate Saturdays, and I've been bunking off halfway through, but it's sort of doing the first half of their course, but it's when it's, which is slightly awkward because it is my group. Yes. But also, I mean, I do say I'm leaving at halftime, but also if we start rehearsing for anything, then I can't do that. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, you have to come late to mine then, won't you, instead?
Well, it's 2 till 4, so it's sort of, yeah. I'd only be getting the hour, I suppose. And yeah. Yes. Oh, well, that's...
I'll have that in my mind, but
it's strange. I think about weekends now, and people say, "Oh, you've got the weekend off." I go, "No, I've got morning and afternoon and evening, sort of 4 sessions a weekend." It's ridiculous.
Yes.
Anyway.
And Flourishing Harp is on Wednesday night, for those of you who are wondering if I haven't already said that. Flourishing Harp is Wednesday night. Lisa, is that what you were going to ask me?
Sort of. So Flourishing is Wednesday.
Yep.
At your 8.
It's my 8, yeah. So is that 5? I don't know.
So it's Wednesday at 1 for me then.
Okay.
Yeah. If the player harp out doesn't work for the spring, I'm fine with that. It can whenever you want it.
Okay. Well, I think it would either be in the spring or it would be in the summer, but I'm trying to keep the summer clear for everyone, really. So I suspect as you are interested, I thought you might just go, no, why would I want to do that? It's probably my pre-new class kind of, does anyone want this? It was probably just me wondering whether actually it was going to be useful or not, but it sounds like a couple of you are quite keen on the idea. So Lisa, I'm sure I will go for it then. Now I know that a few of you are interested. So,
Yeah, but I mean, if it doesn't go in May, it's okay with me.
okay, brilliant. And just, you know, the plan with that one is to only do it once this year. So, you know, I always say that the beta run, you get a second run. It might work out really nicely for you guys, because I may do the second beta run in January. So you may find you end up with a course in January you weren't expecting as part of your full year program, because I always put beta people into the second run, and you'll be on the beta course. So that tunes that. Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. Fantastic. Any other questions? No? Judy, anything from you?
No, that's fine. Just, yeah, thanks very much. I'm excited.
Brilliant.
Looking forward to it.
Good. And it's, as I say, it's really, I mean, I'm so excited that, you know, I feel like I've seen everybody do so much already, and we got 2 more terms together. I can't wait until we're reviewing, like in December, how you feel. And I hope it was going to be very positive, but I'm really excited to see this progress, you know. And I'm just thinking of, you know, some of the people, Kate, we've seen come and do 1 year and start from not playing and to the end of the year. And you know, it's like that with you guys, but you know, you've come in at a higher level. So I'm really excited to see, you know, what the year's going to do for you guys. It's very exciting, and I'm very proud, I hope it's okay to say, of everything you're doing, because I've said it to some of you already. I feel very emotional really about, I'm going to try and write a blog about this, but you know, like what lots of Harpers, you know, students have done over this period. You know, it's like you've gone, right, you know, all this stuff's going on, it's like, but I'm going to knuckle down and do something really amazing. And you know, you've learned these wonderful bits of progress in what you're doing, and you're doing something that you love, and you're doing it brilliantly, and it's very powerful, and it's turning something, you know, a bit of a naff time in history, isn't it, into something really positive, I hope, for you guys. And that's what I see, and I think it's incredible, and hats off to you for all that hard work and being able to focus. You know, I think it's amazing, and I feel very emotionally going about it. So it's like, it's crazy. But anyway, thank you. So I'm going to leave you in peace. Thank you very much. I will stop recording. If you guys want to stay and chat, then you're most welcome, but I will turn off the recording now. We'll say bye-bye to anyone watching the replay as well. So thank you for listening to Lisa, and good luck to you too, and get in touch on email if you need to. One last thing, you've got lessons to book with me. Nobody's had a private lesson with me. I'm not scary. You can do your private lesson with me anytime. So email me when you want it, okay? Okay.